President Trump has threatened to bomb Oman, an American ally which has been negotiating with Iran about reopening the vital shipping channel, the Strait of Hormuz. Using crude language, the president told a reporter from Fox News that he would attack Oman if it got in the way of his administration's talks with Tehran, which are happening separately. Well, tonight, Mr. Trump has been speaking to reporters at the White House. Let's get the latest from our North America editor, Sarah Smith. Sarah, Oman, a key ally in that region. Have you heard any rowing back at all from the president?
Very little. It's a bit difficult to work out why he's threatening to bomb an ally who is trying to get the Hormuz Strait reopened, something that Donald Trump very much wants to see happen. And so he was asked for some clarification, and all he said about Oman was, we handle them just like we do the others. So that's rather cryptic. I mean, I think one explanation for these comments could be his frustration at the way he cannot seem to get out of this conflict with Iran that he chose to start almost 6 months ago now. Today actually marks the end of a 60-day period during which time the US and Iran were supposed to have negotiated a comprehensive peace deal to put all of this behind them. That was meant to happen during a ceasefire, but that truce very quickly fell apart. And here's what President Trump had to say when he was asked this evening if he's any closer to a deal with Iran.
They're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon.
So it doesn't sound like he's getting any closer. He claimed in that Fox News interview that he's in no hurry to get a deal with Iran and that he's not concerned about the possible impact the war could have on the American midterm elections coming up at the start of November. But he knows this war is making him and his party unpopular with voters who do not support this conflict, but he just can't seem to find his way out of it.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah Smith with the latest in Washington. And let's talk to our international editor, Jeremy Bowen, as well. What are President Trump's options here with this war?
Well, I think that's the problem. He doesn't really have them other than to do a deal he doesn't want to do, which Iran would then present as a victory. Essentially, he's flailing around at the moment. He's confronted with the wreckage of, to use one of his favourite words, a failing foreign policy. He's trying to reverse a strategic defeat which Iran has effectively inflicted upon him simply by the regime surviving. And elsewhere, he's running up against other things as well, problems with his Gaza process. He started lashing out at South Korea, and that disdain he's showing them, an ally, this kind of disdain he's shown to Western European allies, is also, he said, somewhat blamed on the fact he feels he hasn't had the support from South Korea that he ought to get on the Iran front. So I think that as for the business of bombing Oman, potentially, well, I think that is probably going to be as fleeting a thought as the one he came out with on Friday, which was that he would, after the victory, he would make the Strait of Hormuz an American territory. He hasn't gone on about that, I think, recently, in the last couple of days anyway. You know, in reality, Oman's negotiation with Iran has been the most credible and realistic attempt to try and get the Strait of Hormuz reopened. It was, of course, open until the war was started by Donald Trump and by Israel. An agreement has been close, but perhaps it has been requiring the kind of costs in terms of concessions to Iran that he doesn't want to accept. I think most worryingly for those who are concerned about America's position in the world is that one of the consequences of all of this is that America's adversaries are seeing ways in which they might be able to exploit its weaknesses. And also I think Donald Trump, last of all, is concerned about his legacy. And his legacy looks to be at the moment what is becoming a forever war with Iran. And that is not what he wants.